I have to read the portion of an article that I just came across that is staggeringly eye-opening. And if you don't think we are moving in the world of the final Antichrist or moving to the world of the final Antichrist, then maybe we need to pull our heads out of the sand and pay attention to all of the things that is going on around us, especially as it relates to the United Nations and the European Union, because I can tell you this right now, one of the things we're going to need to see happening in order to be able to accomplish what we read about in Revelation 13 is a one world economy that is radically controlled by those in authority who eventually give that power to one person who will make everybody take the mark of the beast. Now, this is really interesting because as I read this article, it should open up a lot of people's eyes to the fact, or speaking to the fact, that we are moving in that direction. And folks, it's kind of scary if you don't know the Lord. If you know the Lord, it's kind of exciting because we know that we are nearing that time, right? We know that the time is coming. I am walking around Sam's Club the other day and go to Costco and some of the other stores that are around us, the big box stores, and they've got rows of Christmas stuff going on. We are in the month of October, folks. That is an indication that Thanksgiving is around the corner. And folks, in the prophecy Bible world, we are walking around the aisles and we are seeing all the Christmas signs, which means Thanksgiving, or the rapture for purposes of this metaphor, is literally around the corner. Let me read this to you. This is very interesting. It says, the UN agency dealing with global trade, they're talking about the UNCTAD, right, is demanding, notice this, that all central banks stop rate hikes. Now, for those of you that don't know, central banks typically ensue rate hikes to control inflation. That's kind of the idea behind it. And so as the interest rates rises, the amount of money that people borrow to buy the stuff that they want actually drops because money becomes more expensive, right? So they are saying that they need to stop these rate hikes because rate hikes, of course, preserve cash and preserve the value of cash, right? So they're saying instead they need to switch to price controls. Now, this is really crazy. This article says they argue, here's the quote, policymakers appear to be hoping that short, sharp monetary shock along the lines, if not the same magnitude as that pursued under Paul Volcker, will be sufficient to anchor inflammatory expectations without triggering recession. Now, sifting through the economic entrails of a bygone era is unlikely, however, to provide the forward guidance needed for a softer landing given the deep structural and behavioral changes that have taken place in many economies, particularly those related to financialization, market concentration, and labor's bargaining power. Now, let me give you the translation for what they are leading to and what they're saying about this. Back in the day, right, where this was becoming a bigger problem than they had anticipated, the Paul Volcker days, what you would do is you would just resort to extreme rate hikes. People borrow less money and everything sort of quells, right? All kinds of inflation begins to quell and you gain control back within a few years and you preserve the value of the currency that the central bank actually controls. But in this context, they're saying, no, that's not going to work, especially with what's happened with COVID and all the loss of financial resources and fiat currencies no longer being backed by, or currencies no longer being backed by gold and silver, which really, in essence, have no value in today's time and day for the establishment of the value of money. You need to actually start controlling now, not interest rates, but you need to start controlling what people can pay for something. Now, here's the problem with that. When you begin to go to price controls cause people to really move to a place of bankruptcy. For example, if it costs me $30 to manufacture a product and you don't allow me to sell that product for more than $25, then I lose $5 every single time I sell you something and I go bankrupt. Eventually, the world around us goes bankrupt, and guess where we go? We go to a no longer existing cash currency to be able to do things. We start bartering and trading, or we go to a cashless society. And that's where I think we're going to end up going. I think we are moving towards the world of the final Antichrist. We are seeing it. It is absolutely mind-boggling to think where it can go. I know this was a slightly longer video, but this is a very interesting data point for us, folks. Keep your eyes open. Watch out. We're watching things change, and they're changing quickly. God bless you guys.